I watched all comic books that I've read. I've read like just him with other characters and all. But I love the character to like his backstory to be able to jump into the show and kind of get an idea of where everything's going. And but at the very end of the day, they're trying to fucking save the city. And I feel like they captured that with the show. The whole time he is just basically fist fighting his way through the city.
Like, what's weird about this is it's one of the few times where I feel like if I hear spoilers to a certain extent, that I'm not really missing out on anything because I've read the comics.
Well, yes and no. It is kind of based upon, I think it was Frank Miller's run. Well, it's kind of based upon that, but at the same time, they're doing things slightly different where you can kind of watch it and there's kind of spoilers in there and stuff like that. And there are a lot of things that are not explained. Like certain things that happen, they'll set up for like probably season 2. So not everything is like fully fleshed out because they.
Yeah. I heard a rumor. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I say before beginning show, it basically was a guy just fist fighting everywhere. It felt more. It felt like how like Arrow tries to be dark and gritty, and you kind of feel like that Dark Knight feeling to it.
Yeah.
It feels like everything's trying to be Dark Knight. I hate to say that, but it feels like every comic has to be grittier, darker. And from Spider-Man that was rebooted, even it was more realistic. It wasn't super like Dark Knight like, but it was like very much in the realm of being realistic. And I feel like they're trying to do that with so many comic shows. And I feel like this particular show went the opposite way of, okay, we're a comic book show, but we're not going to try to be like the Dark Knight, dark and gritty. We're going to.
Sure, is a Netflix series.
Yes, I strongly believe Punisher is going to be a Netflix series because here's the thing about Daredevil. There's cursing, there's blood, there's violence. He's not just beating people up. He's breaking bones. Bones are popping out. He's damn near killing people on this show. And, of course, Kingpin is flat out killing people. There's headshots. It's pretty gruesome. It's Netflix series because here's the thing about Daredevil. There's cursing, there's blood, there's violence. He's not just beating people up. He's the same people behind him. He's damn near killing people on this show. And, of course, Kingpin is flat out killing people. There's head wearing the blanket. It's mature show. It's damn near close to being. If it was a movie, it'd be damn near close to being rated R, or if not rated R. But basically, the deal is the same people behind Daredevil. They put the show out, and it's getting such rave reviews. And Netflix is actually, for what I hear, they're actually adapting the show where the blind can watch it too.
Yeah.
So they're doing that as well. It's getting like the blind can watch it. I realize how stupid that sounds, but
how stupid it sounds for a blind.
Oh, did you see that? Oh no, I guess you didn't. I'm sorry.
But talking down to me. It should be my kind of hero, but
but yeah. So like the reason I bring it up is because the fact that it's so gritty and dark, and it's doing so well that the showrunner.
See this? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh man, oh, did you see that? Oh no, I guess you didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They're like, wow, this show's really talking down to me. It should be my kind of hero, but.
But yeah, so like the reason I bring it up is because the fact that it's so gritty and dark, and it's doing so well that the showrunners they're actually trying to pitch to Marvel to let them do a Punisher show.
I don't know about how like dark and like kind of mature the show is, and if they eventually like go down the line of the comics, like eventually the Punisher will show up. And I wonder if they could use that as a way to kind of spin off the Punisher.
They probably will. It'll make sense. I mean, the same showrunners are trying to make the Punisher, so it'll make sense that they'll probably spin him off, kind of like they did with the Flash and Arrow.
Yeah.
The thing about it is he gets the shit kicked out of him too because he's fucking blind. He's not gonna be able to block everything.
I guess I'll ask some more spoilery questions like when we stop recording. Because I don't want to be like, oh, does this happen? And then it happens in the next season.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happens on the show. They actually deal with his faith, being Catholic.
Yeah,
He's not gonna be able to block everything.
I guess I'll ask some more spoilery questions like when we stop recording, because I don't want to be like, oh, does this happen? And then it happens in the next season.
A lot of stuff happens on the show. They actually deal with his faith being not Chris.
Like, maybe what if their logic is we're going to turn Naomi so we can turn the Bellas?
Who knows? I mean, they do kind of force things down your throat and hope for the best, basically.
Yeah. They're like a Brazzers video.
Yeah.
They just force it in your throat till you're crying. Almost about to choke.
Fans are gagging on their shit.
Yeah. And then they slap you because it's, I guess, like weird. I don't know. Those videos are weird.
They spit in your face.
Yeah, what's up with that? Who's getting off to this kind of shit?
I don't know. The kind of guys who knows? I have no idea.
I was gonna say what's sad is I'm saying like that's weird and I don't know why it's a thing. And I'm like I probably met like a million guys who go home and like, oh man, I gotta look up the new like fucking whatever kind of movies.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I've watched those kind of movies before unintentionally because I go to like those massive porn sites. I know I'm putting all my business out online, but you know what? Fuck it. Everybody does it.
Yeah, it's not a big secret. It's like, oh man, you poop? Nobody poops.
Or everybody poops. The book.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like
that book really opened my eyes to the way the world works.
I'm like, oh, so everybody poops. It's not just me. I thought I had a problem.
Yeah. I thought all that $1 million toilet paper industry was only being kept afloat by me.
Yeah.
Not the girl I'm living with, because clearly she doesn't poop.
Never poops.
Nope.
So yeah, so basically, going on one of those sites, you run into like one of those videos randomly, like you don't know it's going to be one of those videos, and then you're watching it, you're like why? Like why is this happening?
This is weird.
Yeah, it's like
it's like watching a funny cat video.
Yeah,
but it's really just like a street fight of somebody like getting kicked in the head a lot. And you're like, whoa, this took a turn.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was gonna be sexy, not awful, I guess. Jesus, watch a Roman Reigns promo instead.
But yeah, so it's just like I said, I expected because Paige is gonna go do this movie that they would just have her lose without having to take a pin.
Yeah.
So it's an easy way to say she's not #1 contender.
Yeah.
But they took a hard turn, I guess.
So here's the thing about it. From what I read, they wanted to turn Naomi into a heel way back when they were having that thing with The Miz going on. The Usos and The Miz.
Yeah. Or he was hitting on her and shit.
Yeah, but that never happened for some reason. They just chose not to do it. They were going to turn AJ into a heel, but AJ left, so it just kind of threw Naomi into her spot as a heel. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I read the idea was for AJ to turn on Paige, but maybe they're thinking this is a way to give the one Uso who isn't hurt something to do on TV while his brother's gone.
I don't know. It just seems like they could have. All right, here's my thing. I love Alicia Fox. I feel like she could actually be a good heel. She's actually done heel stuff before and got legitimate heat from it. So I feel like she could have easily taken a spot as a heel. And she already knows how to work in the ring. She could have easily been a heel and just left Naomi a face.
Yeah, and like I said, nobody's going to cheer for the Bellas.
Yeah, so why not have one face while Paige is gone? Why not have one face who everybody kind of likes anyway and kind of just work with her, build her up, and just have like, a new heel? If they're going to give Divas a chance, why not just fucking really give Divas a chance?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube now where people are like, well, you wanted to give Divas a chance. Now this is what you got. You better like it. I better not hear anybody complain because you asked for this.
But they're not. They're not doing. They're not doing 100% with what they could do with the characters. It's just kind of like I don't even know what they're doing.
No, I mean it's one of those like next week on NXT they're advertising the 3-way like women's match.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I do want to see Charlotte and Sasha Banks and shit.
Yeah.
Bayley. But Naomi versus the Bellas, I'm not like, and we don't even know if they're for sure going to give her the title shot, because we're probably going to have to sit through some bullshit story on that.
I feel like everything's ruined.
Yeah, like I'm not interested in it the way I am, the NXT women, where it's like they don't really have a real story other than I want the belt, and yet I'm way more invested in them.
Yeah, but see, think about it is they haven't done much with the divas except just parade them out there every once in a while.
With Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, with Snoop Dogg, or like have them come out with their husbands, or like just do God knows what. But I feel like their problem is they have a long roster of divas who probably aren't the best wrestlers. So maybe they're just keeping them off TV because they're like, okay, we want to give divas a chance, like they're saying, but not these divas. They're awful.
Yeah, or they have to, because apparently Eva Marie is like posting all kinds of videos of her doing snap suplexes and shit. Maybe this is their way of like giving them more time to practice.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it is. But in the meantime, they need to do something better with their storytelling.
Yeah, but that could be said for the entire show.
Yeah, that could be. They have Naomi. They have those two at least. They can actually do stuff with.
Yeah, but it's like we were saying. Now
let's move on. Let's move on from this.
All right, fuck it. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we spend too much time on this bullshit. All right, so we got the Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension, which basically means the Ascension is now the newest jobbing tag team. They're a bunch of they're just jobbers now.
Now, haven't they always been the jobber tag team since they've debuted?
Well, they kind of tried to do something with them, and then after they took a clothesline from hell, it just like ruined their careers.
Yeah, what the hell was that about? Like, you didn't have to bury them so hard.
I just don't know. I mean, it's like they were so dominant in NXT. I couldn't wait for them to come to WWE, actually dominate and actually add on to the tag team championship run. Like everyone's trying to go after the belts, which I'll talk about later. But everyone wants to go after the belts and all. Like having them as champions would have been amazing, but they're just jobbing now. Now the Lucha Dragons aren't, they're nothing to sneeze at. They're awesome, but they've had good matches with the Ascension in NXT, and now we're seeing them on the main roster. They're just jobbing out to them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if we see the Ascension do any of their spots. Like, when's the last time we've seen them do the Fall of Man or that weird, I think it's Connor. Who's the shorter one of the two? I don't know. Victor?
I don't remember.
He has that weird kind of leg sweep move. I don't know if he's ever done that. I think he actually did it this Monday, and the camera just didn't show it.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful how they're being treated at the moment.
I mean, it's a thing of the Usos aren't around, so who's the next flippy tag team we can put in there? Lucha Dragons.
Which we'll get to later on about the Usos being gone and how they want to build the Lucha Dragons to kind of take their place right now. Because they're really fucking over the tag team champions right now. We'll talk about that later, but man, they're really fucking them over.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to quickly talk about the match, I guess it was okay. It wasn't really nothing special.
It was okay. It just didn't live up to what they've done before. And that's what really bothered me.
It also didn't have a lot of time, so that could have been something.
Yeah.
But it's also a thing, if you build up the Lucha Dragons and they connect with the crowd and everybody wants to see them do their Lucha Libre spots. Yeah. When the Usos come back, what are they going to do?
Probably fight Lucha Dragons.
Yeah, but is it I feel like if we build the Lucha Dragons up, the Usos are going to have to take a step back.
Because Go ahead.
I was going to say doing super kicks and jumping over the top rope isn't going to be enough. When Kalisto can do the Salida del Sol and handspring with no hands off of the ropes and shit.
Yeah. I want to bring up Kalisto. I'm glad they actually used him as his character and not a gay hairdresser.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I like Rico.
Yeah, I don't want to see him again with better skills.
I'm also happy that they're actually letting them do like I said, the Lucha Libre, arm drags and shit like that. And the sunset flips. because it almost like I was kind of worried that they would be brought in and have to do the
Yeah.
WWE style
Yeah.
of the like grounded mat wrestling and shit.
Do you think you do because they're trying to compete with Lucha Underground?
Uh, I want to say no, but I would like it if they were.
Like I feel like WWE actually does stuff sometimes to compete with other groups, like not other groups, but other wrestling organizations, but they try to find ways not to really acknowledge them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do that.
I kind of feel like the Lucha Dragons are their way, like now, because of how they brought them up to the main roster. It's their way of showing like the Lucha Libre wrestling style and showing that they have great, wrestlers there. And kind of like not really going against, Lucha Underground, but just kind of showing that they kind of have that there as well. Try to counter it, I guess.
It's also a thing of like, I guess if there's an NXT pay-per-view, like soon, we could talk about that. But it feels like all of NXT, like their style of wrestling is like very indie wrestling, or the style they've been doing for years, compared to like the standard punch kick bullshit that's on Raw.
Well, I think the problem. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so maybe it's like, Raw has to adapt to what they're building up, and like they can't deny the fact that these people do all these moves.
I think the problem with NXT versus WWE is, like you said, they come in, they actually use some of their independent moves and stuff, the stuff they're doing in indies, and then they get to the main roster. And I feel like a lot of the people on the main roster, they say like Randy Orton, he can't relate to that, or he can't, he doesn't know how to. Like the product has evolved, and there are these new people who do things completely different than the people that are already there. And they have trouble kind of like mixing it in together.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I feel like Seth Rollins is possibly what's changing their mind about the new NXT way of wrestling, because he can sort of just do it all.
Yeah, he's well-rounded.
He's got Phoenix splashes, and he also has like, superplexes and shit.
Yeah.
But I guess speaking of other Shield people, we got a Roman Reigns promo.
Here's the thing about the Roman Reigns promo. I wasn't really paying. I think I listened to it. I thought it was interesting. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't really paying attention to the show in its entirety. I'm thinking like, okay, like I'm in the mindset of I'm enjoying Raw, or at least trying to.
Yeah.
It completely slipped my mind, and this is pre-recorded. And a lot of people brought that to my attention that they actually let Reigns go out and cut a promo live, but not necessarily really live.
Yeah, I mean, also, like we said with the crowd, like the crowd being turned down or fixed or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's pre-recorded, maybe they had more faith in the idea that they could fix it in post.
Yeah, that and like hoping that, okay, where he goes up there, he knocks out the park, he does, but if he fails, this should never happen.
Yeah, or we can edit around it a bit.
Yeah.
I guess I thought the promo was fine. Like, I'm still not into him, but that's, the writing. I didn't think it was anything great to write home about. And I'm definitely not interested in Big Show.
No one's interested in Big Show.
And it feels like if they want Reigns to get over, Big Show was the last person they should have put him with.
I feel like if they wanted Reigns to get over, they could have actually played to the whole Shield thing. I was thinking about this the other day. Like when he was coming down to the ring, he's wearing his T-shirt, and for some reason it popped in my mind, like his gear, like how he wears like the vest and all.
Yeah.
For some reason it popped in my mind. I just thought about Tom James' Punisher. I know that has nothing to do with wrestling except for the fact that Kevin Nash is in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, it made me think about it. I was like, how he wore, like at the very end of the movie, he wore the bulletproof vest and he had the Punisher logo on it.
Yeah, he had the spray painted logo.
Yeah, the way they souped up his gear, it has like some sort of it has his logo on the front, kind of like a superhero. But he's wearing like the vest and stuff. Like it was very Punisher-ish the way he looks now. Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, what gimmick they could have used with him? They could have totally just left him as a member of the Shield, like by himself, as the lone member. Like how they tried to do the whole vigilante thing.
Yeah.
Which was fucking stupid. Well, the whole deal is everyone else kind of went their own way. You got like Seth Rollins joining the Authority. You got Dean Ambrose going after Seth Rollins for betraying him, but also doing his own thing. The whole thing of like justice, all that stuff, it could have been left to Roman Reigns still doing that, like being the sole member. And there you go. You got like a gimmick or something instead of just a guy being pushed.
I mean, if you want to go full Punisher on this, he could have blamed the Authority for switching Seth.
Yeah.
You know, for having Seth turn on him. Go after all the members of the Authority. You know, he's still after he's done with that, he's still a good guy. So, and because we want him to be like super dominant, whenever he faces a heel, like he can just beat the shit out of him, like the way the Punisher would.
Yeah.
But he takes it too far, unlike, you know, John Cena or like another good guy would.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done so much with him, but oh my God, they totally ruined him. They totally ruined Reigns. I also thought about, you know, his finisher. I don't really care for the Spear as a finisher. We already talked about that before. Yeah. I would love if he just swapped it around. If he hit them with the Spear, then like finish it off with the Superman punch.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. I guess it's all the same, really, to me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a Superman punch is more original, and it would work better than a Spear as a finisher.
Well, what sucks now is after Brock took like 3 punches, I think last week when he was facing the Big Show also took like 3-4 fucking Superman punches.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that no longer a move? Is it just a regular punch now? Like, what are you trying to tell me, WWE?
I don't know. I mean, everyone kicks out of everybody's move at WrestleMania.
Yeah. It's like but
it's like international
Big Show was like
day.
On regular Raw.
Yeah. They try to make Big Show a big deal.
Yeah, stop it. I'm not into the New Year's baby. Get out of here.
Yeah, so he fucked up a pretty decent British card for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, got to keep so strong, am I right?
Well, it's kind of sad that Reigns comes to the ring. He talks about, you know, what happened at WrestleMania and all that jazz. Big Show comes on the screen, talks shit to him. Reigns is like, come down and do something about it. You know, instead of just talking shit like a bitch in the back, Big Show comes out and beats the shit out of him.
He comes out and does something about it.
Yeah. He's like, there you go. He did something about it.
I mean, it's also a case of like we said last week with the announcers being like, "Oh, Reigns was so close. You know, he could have won. Like, if it wasn't for interference, he would have won that match."
Yeah.
Like, was it Brian Saxon who was there with him, or Byron Saxon? Yeah. Like, he was like, we know how close you were to winning the WrestleMania, and you were the Royal Rumble winner. It's like they're trying to keep him strong as well. And this feud just ain't going to do it.
No, with Big Show. I mean, he already feuded with Big Show for a long time. And then after that, he did other stuff. And then he started feuding with Big Show again. Like he's not going to go anywhere with that.
It's like, it feels like, well, go ahead.
He needs someone who can actually work with him and make him look good. And, you know, he also needs to hold a smaller championship or a mid-card championship to show that he can actually be champion, like the world champion one day. What I would do if I was, you know, this is like fucking fantasy booking. What I would do is, since like John Cena's right now is currently taking on the whole mid-card and, you know, basically beating everyone. He's going to face Rusev eventually. Have Reigns beat Cena for the U.S. title eventually after like the whole Rusev thing's wrapped up.
Yeah, but you would have to write a reason for Reigns to actually want to do it.
It's like it's an open challenge. Basically,
yeah, I mean that does make sense, but we got to keep Reigns strong. He's going to win Money in the Bank. How are we going to keep him strong with the belt if he's going to win Money in the Bank?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he does need to be out of the championship scene for a little while and actually win like a mid-card title, but they're not going to do that. They're going to keep him there.
He's got to be out of the championship scene for the first time in his career.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The promo was fine. I'm still not into it, but whatever.
Okay, so basically, you know, Big Show beats up Reigns. They take him off, you know, like on a stretcher during commercial break. Could have watched it probably on the WWE app, but who the fuck does that?
Yeah, not me.
He was like, I gotta see what's happening right now. No, but anyway, yeah. So he's wheeled off. And then we see the tag team champions basically get buried by one guy.
Yeah. Well, it's another case of we got to keep Orton strong. It's I remember listening to a podcast because I don't listen to music anymore apparently.
Yeah, not this current year or this current decade, really.
And they were saying that like keeping Randy Orton too strong like this is like in 2009, I think they said.
Yeah.
When they were keeping Orton like super strong. And that they were like their fear was that they don't, because Rollins has to win at Extreme Rules. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we're all sure he is going to win. No matter what the like last promo is on the show. That they have to book Orton strong even though he's going to lose.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. But at the expense of your tag team chance, it's like, what's the point in doing that? Like, maybe just one of them would be fine. But both at the same time seems like ridiculous.
Well, what they could have done is they could have actually used, like, you know, I would have put him in the ring with probably like J&J Security or someone else or something else. You know, I would have threw him in the ring with like somebody else instead of like the tag team champions. Any tag team, put him in the ring with fucking the Ascension. They're already shitting over them anyway. Why not just throw them in there to get beat by one guy?
Okay, I mean, I'm going to tell you. What?
Oh, so it doesn't make sense to throw out your tag team champions to get beat by one dude.
All right, I was going to bring up a scenario from like 2001, 2. So there's the McMahon like Helmsley regime is going on.
Yeah.
And The Rock is the champion. And he's feuding with the McMahons, who are essentially the Authority.
Yeah.
So to get back at him as champ, they have him on Raw, like doing a bunch of bullshit matches that they're trying to just beat him up going into a pay-per-view. So their idea, the McMahons, is to have him face the tag team champs who are heels. They happen to be the Dudley Boys at the time. And they fucking beat The Rock. Because back then, the idea of the tag team champs is these two guys working as a team is just as good, if not better, than your champion.
Yeah, here's the thing about that. WWE's tag team division has been fucked for a long time. They're like, for a while, it was just guys thrown together. Right back and fucking Axelmania thrown together. I call him Axelmania now. I like to honor that because, you know, WWE's not honoring it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can throw those two together and just throw them out there. Two guys who weren't working well as like singles competitors, just throw them together. That's what they were doing for a long time, just throwing people together. It was just like two names, just two guys together. The Ascension was like such a big thing for me because I feel like there's a team with one name. It's just, you know, it's back like the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys and Demolition.
Edge and Christian, APA, which were all like around at that time.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, it's just like one name. What kind of, you know, one title for these two guys who work together as a unit. And you know, they shit all over them. But you're looking for their tag team division, it's just a bunch of just people thrown together. There's like no real competition. They have the Usos. It feels like they've relied so much on that. You know, it's like, how long has the Usos had the championship? And when they lost it, how long before they got it back? Every time.
Like a month.
Yeah, it just feels like, you know, they're relying so much on them. And it's like they're not really putting, like they don't know how to multitask or build up the mid-card or build up multiple people. It's just like a 3-hour show built around certain people. That's it.
I mean, it's weird to think that, you know, we had, I don't even, like 10 matches on this show.
Yeah.
Or 10 matches on the show. But it still feels like your main event roster is like 4 guys. It still feels like your tag team division is like 3 teams. Like your Divas division is only like 4 people. Like, how do you have so many people yet not enough people to actually have a variety of your matches?
Well, they kind of throw people on SmackDown, and that's kind of decent. But I feel like back in the day with SmackDown and Raw were completely two separate brands. It was actually better. They actually utilized people a lot better than what they're doing now. And yeah, it's just like the same people. They're the top people, the select few to be at the top. Everyone else is just garbage.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to keep going back to NXT, but it's a case of like NXT doesn't have a lot of people. When you think about their roster compared to like the main roster,
yeah,
yet they've got enough variety in their matches, even if they're the same people, to where it's like not getting bold. Like, it's not boring. It's not getting old. Like, I'm still looking forward to Charlotte and Sasha Banks, and they've wrestled for like a year straight.
Here's the thing about NXT. You want to move on from that, but here's the thing about them. You only have a 1 hour show, and that's it. They need more time. If they had like a full, like 2 hours or so, we'll see more people on TV. You'll see more matches. We'll see more story development. Like, don't have 1 hour to work everything into, like, just to like storylines and everything they need to do. It's just 1 hour. So we don't get a chance to see all the variety we could see, but they're doing the best of what they have. And I feel like WWE at the moment with Raw is just overly bloated, and they're just doing basically they're trying to do a 3 hour show with probably less than 2 hour material.
I think if you watch like I'm not gonna say torrented or anything, or like YouTube, like with all the commercials taken out, it's only like 220, 230 maybe.
Yeah.
And then if you take out all the like, what just happened, the replays, or the what happened on, last Raw, or what did we just see?
It's like maybe 2 hours. F5 again or something.
Yeah. Like, if you take that out, it goes down to like 2 hours. Like, somebody on YouTube is like edited down to just matches. And it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want to say it's like maybe they don't have enough time, but it's real odd to think about.
Yeah. All right, so tag team champions got beat by Randy Orton. That's a way to keep Randy Orton, strong, but at the same time, they haven't done anything with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd since they won the championships. It just kind of like just been around, and now they have that defeat by one dude.
Which, to point out again, I hear is another time when they messed with the crowd audio, because apparently Cesaro got a huge pop.
I don't know. I've heard rumors. I've heard stories in the past of how they edited out Dolph Ziggler getting huge pops in the past, back when he was being punished for God knows whatever he did.
Like, just to skip ahead again on this show, apparently Ziggler and Neville got like the biggest reaction of the night, and you couldn't tell by watching it on TV.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ridiculous. All right, so let's move on from Randy Orton, beat Cesaro, and Tyson Kidd. It made no sense, and there was no reason for it to happen. And it's bad booking. The whole night was filled with bad booking. The Divas
and speaking of no reason to happen,
well, Adam Rose and Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, like, I realize you want to get Ambrose on TV and have him like get some wins because he hasn't had a lot of wins.
Yeah,
but Adam Rose, who gives a shit about Adam Rose?
I don't know. I feel like the whole thing with Dean Ambrose is he's clearly a top guy, but they're keeping him mid card. And I don't know. I don't know if they feel like they have enough room for top guys anymore. There's clearly room for top guys, but basically, like, the deal with Dean Ambrose is he went off TV for a little while, and
to be in a movie.
Yeah, so they brought him back to just get a win, just to be like, hey, he's still here,
and he's still relevant. Look, he's winning.
Yeah, Adam Rose is basically like just a jobber now.
Yeah, well, he's always been a jobber, but it just, I don't know. It felt like, why have this squash match? Maybe it was to fill time. I don't know. Maybe it was just to get him on TV. Like I said, to get a win.
Do you feel like Dean Ambrose's moment has passed? Like, he became a breakout star. They didn't do anything with him, so they kind of like just let it fizzle out now.
Like, that was during that time when they had no Bryan and no Reigns to push hard. So they were just kind of still in space.
Yeah.
Like you had Wyatt winning and stuff like that. And Ziggler won Survivor Series, which they never did anything with.
Yeah.
And like the fact that people are still into Ziggler, like I want to say, is proof that like nobody's truly done with the crowd.
Yeah.
But they got to do something with Ambrose, maybe pretty soon.
I don't know. But yeah, so that happened. It was like a squash match, so not much to say about that. And so Ambrose went out, beat Adam Rose, left. Basically it. Then we moved on to another squash match. It was Stardust versus Fandango. So that's two squash matches in a row. And it ends with Stardust winning, and then Fandango's original music plays after he dumps Eva Mendes. Rosa Mendes.
Yeah, Rosa Mendes.
I always get it mixed up. That's my mistake. Rosa Mendes. And you can tell that's the amount of fucks I give for her character.
And why should you? She's not a good wrestler.
Yeah, she didn't she put up a video of her doing suplexes?
No, that was Eva Marie.
I thought it was her. Well, I guess still fuck her did. She didn't put up any videos or anything. So like, and she's an annoying character on Total Divas, so whatever.
So it's a double whammy.
Yeah. So so I guess they figured try to turn Fandango back into a face with his music. And it's a perfect time to do it in London.
Yeah. Where I guess they'll just cheer for anything is what it seems like.
Yeah, so like, they're gonna sing along. They're definitely gonna sing along. So that happened. But what are they gonna do now? Are they gonna just try that the whole music thing they did before? Like maybe his music will get him over?
I guess. It's another, like, maybe they're building him up to face The Miz or I don't know. It's another case of, like, they have a big roster, but it also feels like they have no roster at all.
Yeah.
Because if Fandango is face now, like Monday, who would he wrestle Monday? Stardust again? Adam Rose?
So, squash match. And then we got Kane versus Seth Rollins. And this match really bothered me. I feel like this is, this was horribly written. It could have been done a lot better. The whole deal is Kane has to pin. Well, first, let's just look at the match completely. Kane makes up the stipulation that Randy Orton has to beat Cesaro in order to make a stipulation for the match at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, he gave Seth Rollins the same stipulation. Seth Rollins chose to beat Kane. He wanted Kane to lay down for him. That should cast off the whole thing. If Kane's making the rules, he could be like, you know what? Never mind it. And the whole thing would have never have happened.
Well, no, because he has to give a reason to turn face.
I mean, in wrestling story-wise, yes, but it's just pure logic. If he's the one that's making the rules at the moment, he doesn't have to abide by that.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I was just given the, booking reason why he's doing this.
Yeah, the booking reason. If he's the one in charge, and Seth Rollins is like, you're not going to lay down for me, I'll call Triple H. He could be like, you know what? Just fuck the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not happening. It could have happened, but instead, he does go through with it. And the whole deal is Seth Rollins has to win this match, right? Kane could have easily chokeslammed him like he did, beat him up, and to just walk out and get counted out. Seth Rollins still would have won.
Yeah. Which I don't know why he didn't do that.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Like he comes in like a badass, doesn't lay down, kicks his ass, chokeslams him. He thinks he's gonna go for the pin, he doesn't. He just gets out and leaves. Walks out like a fucking man. It gets counted out. And Seth Rollins still wins. Everything still works out. But Kane just had to look like a pussy the whole time.
So just to keep track, this is our fourth squash match in a row? Technically?
Yes. If you want to say technically this is a squash match. Despite how it went down with Kane basically being the offense and then making himself lose by pinfall.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. The match could not have ever happened. Like, to be honest, like if you use the logic, and when it did happen, it could have went down a different way. He didn't have to get pinned.
And then here's the like extra, I guess, rub to it. I don't care about Kane. I don't want to see him turn face. I'm not going to give a shit about a face Kane. I don't care if he puts the mask back on. I don't care what he does. I don't care. So why are they doing this?
I have no idea. Like, who's he going to face? He going to still have beef with Big Show? Like, yeah. I mean, who wants to see that?
Nobody. I don't want to see either one of those guys. Big Show's been in this company for like 20 years.
He went over before WWE went out of business, so he's been over for a while. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's one of – I mean, he wasn't in the Attitude Era. Was he? Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the end of it. So he's one of the very few Attitude Era wrestlers that are still currently competing.
God.
Yeah, we really think about it. He's one of the very few – all the rest of them have – most of them have already retired due to injury or other things. And, you know, he's still there.
I mean, like, when you think about it, who's the other, like, people who are from the Attitude Era?
You got Kane,
Undertaker, Triple H. Like, none of those guys should be wrestling every week. Yeah. And yet, for some reason, we have Big Show on every goddamn, like, Raw and SmackDown.
I don't know. I think the punch that he does, like, you know, talking about Big Show from him, I think the fist punch he does is, like, I find it fucking lazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those where it's like fucking Big Show's like a 50-year-old man and he can't do the shit he used to. So let's give him an easy move to do.
Yeah.
But like if we're going to go with real logic, like with the Kane thing, why doesn't he just start throwing punches like at the beginning of a match?
Yeah.
You know, go out there like a boxer or something and just start winging big punches at people.
The whole thing didn't make any sense. It felt like it was written to serve a certain means, but no one gives a shit about the means, and no one gives a shit about the whole segment.
Yeah, it's like they saw the success they have with Miz and Mizdow, which we'll get to next, but they were like, oh, that worked. Let's do the same thing for Kane because we have to turn him.
Yeah. Does he turn every year? Or is that Big Show?
That's Big Show.
Yeah, Big Show turns every year.
Yeah. Like I said, Big Show's been in the company like 20 years. I bet I can Google his amount of turns, and it's like 20-something.
Yeah.
So we're due for a Big Show turn this year, guys. I hope you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to happen. He's probably still going to get booed. I think the crowd's different than what it was back then. I think they're more unforgiving, so he probably still get booed as a face.
Like, you know what you can do to make me like Roman Reigns? Have him with a match with Big Show and have Big Show retire. Yeah. Have him, like, forcefully retire the Big Show. And I'll be like, hey, this guy's getting rid of people we hate.
Yeah, there you go. Who's next? Let's see if we can get in the ring with Triple H. Make sure we all see Triple H ever again.
Yeah. Hey, Kane, what are you doing? Your face, right?
Yeah, here you go.
Adam Rose, you're a bad guy. Get in there.
It's like what was it like when Randy Orton was the legend killer?
Yeah,
he's more like
all kinds of guys.
He's more like the mid card clear, I guess.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Every match comes with like the pink slips for
it. I mean, he's part of the Authority. Well, no, Rollins is part of the Authority. Shit.
Yeah, to get Rollins.
I was gonna say because if give that to Rollins. Have Rollins curb stomp people into retirement.
Oh my God, that'd be so awesome.
And the Authority can come out and be like, "You're fired."
That would be awesome.
You know, because they run the company. Why wouldn't they just fire him right there on the spot?
What would be cool is you bring out the pink slips, put on the canvas, and then curb stomp your face into it.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
It's such a badass way. Like, get rid of people.
And then, like, you know how they bounce up or like they sit up? They could have the pink slip like stuck to their face.
Oh my God! Or you do it $1 million man, Ted DiBiase style, put it in their mouth afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Gee, oh man, we need to be a part of WWE Creative right now.
I hope Jimmy Jacobs is listening to this and he's like, "Shit, I got to do that."
Oh shit. All right, so yeah, so Kane basically beat the shit out of Seth Rollins and then pinned himself with Seth Rollins and then left. And no one gave a shit. And then we retreated to the Miz versus Mizdow, which
Again.
which wasn't a bad match, but Mizdow got the win. And it's kind of like, well, you just gave away the pay-per-view.
Well, it's like I said, I hope Miz beats his ass at the pay-per-view. And then Mizdow has to learn, like, oh, I need to go back to being my own guy because the Miz sucks and being the Miz sucks.
But I feel like he just got to win as Mizdow, and that kind of ruined your idea. Also, I think you're trying, you're actually writing like a decent storyline.
Yeah, I'm doing what I say I don't want to do, fantasy book.
Yeah, which is not how these things go.
Yeah.
I think it's going to just be another match between those two, and whoever wins, wins. It doesn't matter now. Like, basically, it would have been cool if Miz still got the win at the pay-per-view, but it doesn't matter. He already got the win. There's absolutely no reason for them to fight each other now. There's no reason, no payoff for it.
And it's weird because, you know, the Marine came out like this week, I think.
Yeah, which I'm going to review, by the way.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that. And it's got the Miz and Summer Rae, and yet Summer Rae comes out with Mizdow. And because, like, Mizdow's not in the movie, how are they going to make you watch the Miz and Summer Rae in the movie? I don't know. It's just weird advertising for their stupid movie.
Yeah.
Because Summer Rae came out with Mizdow and was, like, standing at ringside. Like, she didn't even get involved in anything. I couldn't even tell you. Go ahead.
I think it was like SmackDown, maybe. Mizdow kind of grabbed Summer Rae and kissed her.
Oh, yeah, I'd heard about that.
And that just kind of made her like him. I wish that shit happened in real life. You just go up to a woman, all right, you're my girl now, just kiss her. And she's like, well fuck it. I guess I'm dating them.
Yeah. And then she's like, so do you want to go to dinner? And you're like, can't we just order a pizza? And then you break up.
Yeah.
And because she realizes, oh, you're just some random weirdo.
Yeah, it's just that's the natural order of things. That's how like the mating game is played.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's still not good enough to have her come out on fucking Raw. And I don't know, it's dumb advertising. I'm tired of this feud. And like, I think Mizdow needs a character, like, quick.
The crowd still loves him. They think he's cool, but you kind of feel it like it's going down, sort of. Like they're like, all right, we see enough of you.
Yeah. I mean, I felt it last week a bit, and I definitely felt it this week. Like, because the little spots he would do where he's doing the same shit the Miz would do, taking off the glasses, it's not getting the reaction it once did.
So what do you think's going to happen at the very end? Is he going to just stop being the Miz, or is the Miz going to change his gimmick and just leave Mizdow still use his gimmick?
Shit.
I mean,
I don't know.
He has to have some kind of payoff. I mean, it's gone on for far too long without payoff.
Yeah, but this is WWE we're talking about. Like, asking for payoff is like asking for a winner in hell.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm still waiting to find out like exactly what's going to happen with Daniel Bryan's marriage since he cheated on her.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I think since he cheated on Brie Bella with their masseuse or physical therapist.
Yeah, physical therapist.
I wait for that to pay off.
I still wonder if I'm still waiting for Brie to like tell Nikki something about hoping she dies in the womb.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for like the fucking Katie Vick storyline to pay off.
I'm still waiting to find out who ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I'm still waiting to find out who killed Vincent McMahon.
Oh man, nah, never mind.
You going around the Chris Benoit?
Yeah, something like that. I was gonna go in a dark place. I was gonna go Daredevil on us.
Oh yeah,
take it to a dark place.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. It's just like asking whether or not the Miz should change his gimmick. I felt like he was stealing Tyler Breeze's thing when he was like, "Don't hit the moneymaker."
Yeah,
like because he came back and started doing that, and Breeze had been doing that on NXT for like a year.
Yeah.
And it's like I want to say he should change his gimmick. That way, when they bring Breeze up, he can, be the male model. But I don't like. Then what do you do with the Miz? His Hollywood gimmick works for him.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
He's such a douche, so it's like it works for him. I mean, I'm just saying that as his character. He's probably a nice guy in real life. I don't know. I didn't watch any of his reality TV stuff, so I don't know. He could have even been playing it up for that, so who knows?
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to a lot of shoot interviews, they're always like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to punch the Miz so bad."
Really?
Yeah. The Alberto Del Rio shoot interview he did. They were like, "Was there anybody you wanted to punch?" He's like, the Miz got annoying."
I can see that then. Yeah, I mean, I've heard stuff about him, like from reality TV shows and all that jazz, but nothing in real life, like his actual who he really actually is. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like if you take that away, what would the Miz be? But if you take away Mizdow from Damian Sandow, like what is he going to be?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Here's hoping the story ends soon, so we can find out.
I guess you think it was long enough. It was a squash match. It was just a really short match.
Yeah, it was a nothing match.
Yeah, and then we were treated to a squash match afterwards. Another one, Ryback versus Luke Harper.
Yeah, which is sad. I mean, I'm not the biggest Ryback fan, and it's not because I'm like a fucking Punk mark.
Yeah.
Because Punk is like, oh, Ryback's not safe in the ring and all this. It's just, I don't know. I'm not into his character or anything. I'm a big Luke Harper fan because of the Indies.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like he's being wasted.
He is. I like Luke Harper, but they are wasting him at the moment. I like Ryback. I feel like they're wasting him as well. And I feel like this whole match is just thrown together and didn't really serve much of a purpose.
Yeah, I mean, was it in this match where Harper got him up for the side, the spinning sidewalk slam?
I can't remember. The match is such a fast match. I can't even remember exactly what happened in it.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that we had Harper, Ryback, and Mizdow in the same spot last week where they were back to back.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I was just trying to get to the point that Harper's able to, pick up Ryback and throw him around and shit. And, he's got the ability to make him look small.
Yeah.
But do they play that off at all? No. He just goes in there and fucking gets beat.
Yeah,
the man can. Go ahead.
I was like, there's no way to keep it Ryback strong, but they're doing it with the wrong person. It's like they could do so much with Luke Harper if they actually applied it. It's like, why would they even take him away from Bray Wyatt and spread him out and just not really do anything with him? I mean, it was cool when he joined the Authority. That was pretty cool. You kind of had a feeling that he was trying to do it to advance his career. And after that, they just dicked him around. They've done nothing with him.
I mean, he's got no story at all. We know nothing about Luke Harper, just based on an audience kind of deal. But it almost feels like if you're just watching his matches, the man can do a super kick. He's got a fucking big boot that'll fucking knock your dick in the dirt.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like he's good in the ring, but we don't get to see any of it, ever.
Yeah, so that was basically another squash match, and then we end up having probably the second best match. Well, I don't want to compare, but the second match of the card that actually entertained us, legitimately entertained us.
I would definitely say it's the best match of the night.
Yeah, I want to take away from the John Cena versus Bad News Barrett match, but yeah, it has to be the best match of the night because the only problem I had with it was I felt it wasn't enough time given to it. And that's nothing against the match at all.
It had a good amount of time for a Raw that was just so jam-packed full of bullshit.
Yeah.
Compared to Harper or Mizdow or Stardust or Adam Rose.
Yeah.
They had, double the time of that. But I don't know. It's just, it feels like, we expect big things from Ziggler. We're getting a lot of cool shit from Neville. You know, we just want to see it. It's like see a long match between Neville and anybody.
I feel like the matches that Neville's been having lately are just simply like it's like his way of doing promos, but without actually having to talk. Like it's just like, hey, look what I can do. These are all the things I can do. I'm cool, right? And we're like, yeah, you're fucking cool. Look at that. It's basically like what they're doing with him. Like even if he loses, he still wins.
It's almost like a shit. Like I don't even know. I was gonna say it's almost like he's like pulling off big spots.
Yeah.
And he's finding a way to do like other different spots, like the walking on the barricade into the 450.
I fucking spilled my drink. I spilled my Crown Royal when that happened. Because I was so shocked. I was like, what is he doing? When he hit it, I was like, oh my fucking God.
And it's like I don't know if anybody really like appreciates how good that is. And they said it on commentary. It's like 3 feet from the ground. Like he literally had no space at all.
Yeah.
To land a 450, and yet he did.
All week I've been looking at stuff like just around my place, you know, just wondering like as high as it is, if Adrian Neville could jump off of it and do that.
Because it's such a 450 off my banister. I think so.
I think they do it off my little dresser, off my kitchen counter.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, shit. It was just ridiculous. I mean, it wasn't enough space at all. And he did it so smooth and flawless.
Yeah. I think he actually busted open Ziggler.
Yeah. I think he did. The thing about this match is Ziggler, I felt like couldn't really put on the kind of performance he usually does because it was a demo for Neville about what he could do. So that's one of the problems I had. But I felt if they would have given him more time, they could have showed off Neville pretty good, and they had Ziggler come back and beat Ziggler and just give a good match. But it wasn't about that.
It's like I get it that they want to like present Neville strong, and they feel like Ziggler doesn't need the win because he's a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
But can we get Ziggler some goddamn wins?
Well, actually, he won this match.
Did he? I could have sworn he lost.
No, he won. It's just like Neville came out, did a lot of cool shit, then lost to Ziggler.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, was it this match or the Harper match where we got a Sheamus run in?
The Harper one. Was it?
Yeah, well, we didn't talk about that at all.
No one gives a shit about Sheamus.
Yeah, it was just Ambrose showing up again, so I feel like Ambrose Sheamus is at least something different we could see.
It's a lot of like, No, it was this match. Sheamus ran in on the Dolph Ziggler match. He attacked Dolph Ziggler.
I could have sworn it was this match, and then we didn't get a legit finish because of it.
No, we did. We got the win. Like Ziggler did get the win, and then fucking Sheamus runs in, beats the hell out of Ziggler and Neville, which Neville did nothing until Sheamus. He's brand spanking new. There's no reason for him to get his ass kicked. In fact, there's been no reason to explain to why Sheamus is a heel now, and he's doing these things, attacking people. So far, he's attacked Daniel Bryan, which makes sense because he's an Intercontinental champion.
Yeah,
and he's been kicking the shot at Dolph Ziggler, and now he's kicked the shot at Adrian Neville. It's like, why? What are you doing? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of your turn?
What are you getting at, Sheamus?
Same thing. Naomi makes sense. Even like her reason she stated makes sense, even though turning her heel doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about her backstage promo.
Yeah, her little backstage promo was simply, she said something that I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if it was scripted or not, but she was like, do wins even matter here anymore? And I was like, yeah, Naomi, you tell them.
Like listening to her promo when she was like, I beat the Divas champion twice before.
Yeah.
I felt like, who cares? Everybody beats the Divas championship means like almost nothing to me. But her saying, does wins and losses matter anymore? I felt like brought it back, brought me back into the promo. Because it's like, you know what? You're right. I do wish wins and losses mattered. I wish it built up to facing the champ instead of just randomly, oh, you're facing the champ now.
That's how it feels like the for the men, for the For the guys and all, it feels like the wins do matter, but for the women, they're just really just not giving any kind of fuck at all. It's just like not caring.
I mean, I don't even feel like for the men it matters.
I think it matters a little more. That's how we got the whole like, Seth Rollins lost to fucking can't think of his name right now. Randy Orton earlier in WrestleMania. I don't know why I almost called him Mr. RKO. I have no reason. I don't know why. But all right, so Randy Orton beat Seth Rollins earlier in WrestleMania. And then, of course, he wins that, Seth Rollins wins the belt later on in the night. So the whole thing with the match was Randy Orton felt because he already beat the champion. But yeah, he never got his rematch for losing to Bryan and all. But the whole deal is he's already beat the champion. That's a win, and they made that matter. But for like the women's championship, it's just like been like a lot of God knows what.
But to take him back to the men, we had Ziggler like almost single-handedly defeat the entire authority at fucking Survivor Series, and he went on to do nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, like I said, I don't know. I felt like, wins and losses should matter again.
All right, so basically, moving back into the match. Also, I think Dolph Ziggler held back a little because the whole thing was about Adrian Neville. Everyone knows Dolph Ziggler is a badass and all. He doesn't have to prove that. But Adrian Neville
it's also a thing of go ahead.
Adrian Neville came out. He did his thing, and despite losing, I think his record right now, if like not counting SmackDown, because I don't know if he wrestled on SmackDown yet, is 2-1. No, 1 and. Am I right?
1-2.
1-2. Because he won one match, his debut match. He's lost 2 since then.
Yeah, he beat Axel, lost to Rollins, and then now lost to Ziggler.
Yeah, which is not bad losses because he loses to like former world champions.
Yeah,
but it's like, and I think it doesn't hurt him to lose at all. But I feel like the match itself suffered from being more of a Neville demo than actually being Neville versus like Dolph Ziggler.
But I was gonna say,
go ahead. I was saying it could have been better with more time. As I was gonna say.
I was just gonna say they're in England, so it's a chance for the crowd to cheer for kind of a local guy.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I want to see Neville, so it's not like I'm upset that he's gonna have the showcase.
Yeah.
I just hope it's like a sign of good things to come in his future, and they're not gonna fucking. I mean, like let's face it, they're gonna bury him in the mid card somewhere eventually.
Yeah.
But hopefully for now, they realize that they have like, an interesting guy on their hands, and they don't just piss it all away.
Okay, so after this match, we have Rollins. The Rollins Orton promo, which they're talking about their stipulations, and then it kind of goes off air. Well, it was kind of like a clusterfuck. It kind of goes off air where Rollins being a smart heel and outlawing the RKO, which makes total fucking sense if you're a heel. And then Orton basically made it to a cage match because he doesn't want anyone to interfere with the match because we all know no one from the outside ever interferes in the match when it's a cage match.
Nope, nobody ever climbs over. Nobody ever comes through the bottom of the ring. No one ever rips open the door. No one ever has holograms or singing children.
Yeah. Nothing ever happens in a cage match. It's always fair and always like, one-on-one. No outside interference at all.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like Rollins is part of outlawing the RKO. Could mean we get the return of the punt. Like they tease the punt, maybe he'll do it again.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's obvious who's going to win this match, so I don't know. I feel like the stipulation thing was dumb.
I feel like he was going to take away the curve stomp, so that way we get to see a Phoenix splash and a punt.
That would have been cool.
But we got a cage match instead.
And like this brings up what I said last week of. At what point do we need Rollins to start winning everything without the authority being around?
I don't know. It's kind of a shitty situation where you're a heel and you're dealing with the authority, because even at one point Undertaker was kind of weak. If you remember during the corporate ministry,
yeah,
how like he'll run away from people and let other people do stuff for him.
Yeah, he had Midian and Viscera do shit for him.
Yeah,
and
so
they were like big time jobbers.
Yeah, so and it's just like, I guess it's a heel thing. Like, of course he's a badass. So he can like basically out wrestle everyone who's a top guy right now, at least.
Yeah,
but
except Bret Hart's favorite wrestler, Daniel Bryan.
He can put on one hell of a match with Daniel Bryan.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, but without all that being said and done, he has to be the cowardly heel, because that's the only way WWE knows how to write it. Like, for example, to give you an example, I'm going to use TNA, believe it or not, as an example. It was like the first 2 episodes of them debuting on Destination America or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so Bobby Lashley goes against Bobby Roode, right? I think that was the first match. Yeah, Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode loses, right, to Bobby Lashley. I think who interfered? I can't think of who interfered in that match. Fuck.
I have no idea.
I can't remember who interfered in that match, but whoever watches TNA can probably type it below, correct me. I could not think of his name for some reason, but I know I can recognize his face. But fuck it. Someone interfered in the match and basically turned heel and caused Bobby Roode the championship. Bobby Roode wanted to fight him the next TNA and Impact. He wanted to take him on and face him because of what happened. He lost the belt. So he faces this person and he fucking loses that person. It's fair. It's clean. It's kind of like, what the fuck, right? Like, I mean, you can see that as like, awkward booking, but it does make sense. You don't always win.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Alex Riley. He got attacked by Kevin Owens, and then when he fought Kevin Owens, he got his ass beat. Because like, they can have heels who just beat people,
I mean, I get it that Rollins is the chicken shit heel and he's with the authority specifically for this kind of treatment.
Yeah.
But he's also their champion, and your champion should be like super strong, as a way to be like, oh, no wonder this guy's champion because he's the best.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to start getting away from like chicken shit wins and losses and go back to like having sort of a dominant champ. But I think they're doing this with Rollins still because, as we saw earlier, they got to keep Orton strong, and they got to keep him strong to face Lesnar or Reigns, God help us.
Yeah.
So it feels like the laziest booking to have a guy, have an excuse to get out of matches without losing or without the other guy looking weak because there was like a lot of like clusterfucks going on.
Yeah. See, the deal about Seth Rollins is for a long time it's been John Cena and it's been like, Randy Orton, and they kind of passed the belt back and forward constantly. And we've had some kind of situations which like we had champions that they were kind of giving the belt, like held on to the belt, like Sheamus, stuff like that. But with the belt finally being unified, and it's only one championship, things need to change. Brock put it together where it's like, well, you can say like, Daniel Bryan did, but the truth is, it's only one championship right now, right?
Yeah.
It's a new era, and they're trying to bring in up-and-coming new stars. This is really the first new star they've given the belt to and given like a lifting run with it. I mean, they gave it to Daniel Bryan, but it didn't work out. Unfortunately, it's not Daniel Bryan's fault. And plus, when he did have the belt, a little bit of time he did have in the ring, they didn't really do much with him. It comes down to, if you're going to push new stars for the future, then you got to get rid of this old mentality of like he has to be a chicken shit heel, because he really is right now the very first person for the new generation, and basically the very first person from NXT, right, to win a championship.
Yeah.
They need to have him strong. because right now it's not like he looks like a chicken shit. He just looks weak completely.
I mean, it's stupid because you have him go out there in the Brock Cena 3-way.
Yeah.
And he looked strong there. And, you know, he put on like what a lot of people are calling the best like 3-way match like ever.
Yeah.
So it's like he can look strong, but then when you have the booking where we have to also keep Orton strong, you fall back on this, well, we're going to have the Authority get involved just so Orton has an excuse for why he lost. And I feel like... Go ahead.
No, I would say it's bad booking, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I feel like, and this is going to be their excuse to build up like why Reigns doesn't win it right away, is because the Authority got involved with him and Rollins. And I don't know, like it's almost like they don't want Rollins to just get clean victories over people, even though he's their champ.
Well, I guess it's their idea of like, when you're a heel, you have to, you know, you can't win clean. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, Triple H fucking did it.
For years. For
years. I mean, he didn't get everything clean, but, you know, there were times he was like a heel that he just fucking, you know, dominated. As we know. So, yeah, so like, why not just let him just go out there and beat people? He just wins because he's a champion.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I sort of get it from, like I've been saying, with the booking standard of it's a way to keep other people strong as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I also feel like, you know, like Mizdow and stuff, we were saying that this character just needs to change.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Seth Rollins the way he is, but he just needs to. I think the whole thing is the Authority needs to go away. It's been done for far too long.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, it's not just. I mean, it's basically a spinoff of what happened with the Mr. McMahon storyline and the corporation. All this. It's the same thing. Just done with less creativity.
Well, it's like I was saying. Like, you remember when they originally had that? Like, McMahon was like, "If y'all lose at Survivor Series, we can't, like, the Authorities no more, and only John Cena can bring him back."
Yeah.
I feel like if they were going for the like Game of Thrones idea of like, we got rid of a bad king and now we finally going to get somebody else to rule, but that guy's even worse than the people we just had, and we have to bring back, you know, the bad Authority because they might be terrible, but they're still somewhat fair.
Yeah.
You know, then you could have had Rollins, you know, part of this like really awful Authority that's always like getting involved with every match, and he's being super chicken shit heel. Like, it would make more sense. But that's not what we got.
Yeah, it felt like the Authority being gone didn't really serve any kind of purpose. And they did nothing in that time they were gone. They
were only gone for what, like a month?
Yeah, I feel like it was their way of selling the WWE network.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
big moments.
Yeah, because they were giving that pay-per-view away for free, and they had to give you something different, like to make you want to sign on.
Yeah, we got Ziggler, we got Sting, we got the Authority going away. We got Brock defending the title, I think, on that episode, on that show.
Yeah, that was the triple threat matches there on that. I think, could be wrong.
No, I think that was the Cena rematch. Was that one?
Yeah. But the whole deal is, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something totally different because Cena can't be in 2 matches. We're saying that we could, but not like that. It's like they don't know how to like get away from like the whole like there's a big corporation or there's like bosses who are like treating their employees like shit. You can't get away from that for some reason. I would love for like a dominant. I think you can still keep it. But I would love for like a dominant stable to get together and just like not be cool with the stuff that the Authority's doing, and it becomes like a clash. That would be cool.
Yeah. They sort of had that going on for a little while with Ryback and Harper, or no, Ryback and the redhead guy that's not on TV anymore.
Yeah.
But, you know, they pissed that away. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like you were saying on the website. Or, well, no, I know you didn't write it on the website. You were just, it was when we were talking.
I was just loud saying that, basically.
Yeah. I thought I read it on the website. About how, like, the writing is making you not even want to watch fucking wrestling anymore.
It does. It makes you not want to watch the product anymore. Oh, also, oh shit, I almost forgot about this. Well, we'll finish talking about me, like, basically not want to watch the wrestling anymore. That bring this other subject up. But yeah, it just makes you not want to, you know, tune in. I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't enjoy it like I used to. And this is my main source of it. I don't want to watch TNA. I mean, I do want to watch TNA, but I want to watch it now with all the issues they're having. So it's like, I feel like if I invest time into something else, TNA may have issues where they may go away. Ring of Honor is having issues. Well, not issues, but Ring of Honor is not as available right now. And I would love for them to get signed with Spike TV, which is like talks and stuff. But basically, this is my main source of wrestling. And this is like the easiest source of wrestling.
Yeah, and it's not like you have like, what is it, like $50 or however much it is to keep up with PWG and Chikara like every time they put on a show.
Yeah.
Because you can only get their shows through DVD, and then you have to order it, and what if you're behind, and who knows how many they might put out.
Yeah, I mean, the indies is pretty cool, but it's kind of hard to get into it, you know? And the reason I brought that up, I wanted to like get off subject for a moment. Because, like, speaking of indies, Ring of Honor, have you heard about the Briscoes, the situation with them?
About how they're not going to go?
Yeah. Basically, WWE, what they wanted to do is they wanted to move up some of their people in NXT, some of the bigger names that they have that work really well. And they wanted to bring in some wrestlers who could actually, oh, let me stop. They wanted to bring in some superstars who could actually... Yeah, who could actually work and you go in there and just start holding it down for, like, you know, for where they start training other people and move other people up. Is there a way of keeping the show going while moving up like Finn Balor and Hideo Itami?
It would make sense.
So they had their eyes on the Briscoes, and they made an offer to them. And of course, like the Briscoes are you know, they're basically the best thing that's in Ring of Honor right now, or one of the biggest things in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you've seen Beta Scott, but I'll tune in for that.
Yeah, but the deal is they were made an offer. Ring of Honor made an offer to them that was better than the WWE offer. They went to WWE and told them, "Hey, this is the offer we got. Can you match up more or whatever?" And WWE was like, "No, we can't." And I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?" WWE is at a point in which they can't match independent wrestling offers.
I mean, I can kind of understand it because I feel like their bottom line isn't as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
And with NXT and their main roster, they do have a lot of people employed.
Yeah.
But you know how you handle that? You fucking get rid of the Big Show and get rid of fucking Kane.
Yeah. I hear their pay is like shit now. For WWE compared to like what it used to be back in the Attitude Era or stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I could see that.
I mean, also they're throwing a lot of money to get certain people there.
I mean, they're paying Brock like $4 million or something like that to show up like 4 times a year.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. But I just felt like, okay, you can't actually afford the Briscoes.
I kind of feel like they were never going to get the Briscoes.
You don't think so?
No, because like I don't remember which one it was. Mark, I think. He was like on Twitter saying like, I don't want my son going to school with some gay.
Yeah, that happened. And that's the reason why WWE's using that. Basically, the true story is they didn't want to match the offer that the Briscoes received from Ring of Honor. But WWE used the whole like, not racial slurs, but the homophobic slurs is the reason why we're not going to sign him.
Yeah, but that homophobic slur stuff or the Twitter things were like last year. It was a long time ago they did that.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's more of like, the save face, because that's the way they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because it doesn't kind of bad when like independent wrestlers are like, nope, not gonna do it.
Well, fuck, what do you call it? The Young Bucks were like, nah, we make too much money in New Japan to go there.
Yeah, I hear that shit. The pay is shit now. I heard that's why the Wolves turned it down, or the American Wolves. Also, a Triple H didn't like them.
Yeah, well, it's like with the Young Bucks. Apparently, they have beef with Booker T, going back to TNA.
Really?
And yeah, they have a shoot interview like recently. You can watch the like 10-minute preview, and they talk about like at their tryout match that Booker T was just like shit talking them the whole time they had their tryout.
Wow.
And that's one of the reasons they're just like, forget it. We make enough money in New Japan to where we don't have to deal with that. And they were like, we do want to come to WWE eventually, but as far as the time being, we're good.
I see that. I mean, because it's just a sad situation right now. Like, the product is not what it used to be. I hate to sound like an old man, but I feel like after WrestleMania, the product has actually went down a little.
I mean, shit, the build up to WrestleMania, everybody was like, oh, this is going to be the worst ever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, but still, like, when you can't even get people excited for your biggest show of the year, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, I feel like, some people say it's the best WrestleMania ever. I think they're over exaggerating. Same thing with people saying it's the worst WrestleMania ever.
Yeah.
I think it has its issues. That's all I can say about it. It has its flaws, but it has some good matches. It has some, okay matches and bad decisions.
Yeah, I think I would say it only has one really bad match.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I think we grade this WrestleMania higher because of, what you were saying, that wrestling isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like if we expect total shit and we get something that's like pretty good, we're like, holy shit, this is way better than, anything we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's way better than the shit they were feeding us like not that long ago. But to everyone else, if you compare it to what it used to be, it's still not as good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I've said before, that's one reason I wanted to do the podcast, was to keep my interest in wrestling up.
It is fucking hard. It is. And like, when there's no real news going on, like, what did I write about? What did I talk about?
Yeah.
Like, do I want to talk about Daniel Bryan getting hurt? Everyone's talking about it. What can I add to it that makes anything different? It's those kind of situations. It's like, like, what do you talk about when the product you're following is just not good, at the moment, or not trying?
It's sad. Like, I don't even know. Like, it's like I said, like, I quit wrestling because of this. I quit WWF for a long time because of stuff like this, bad writing. And then it was all the indies and stuff that brought me back. And now that they have NXT, it's sort of like the only thing that's kind of keeping me going.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's just like, I guess, the hope. It's the Obama style hope.
Yeah.
That, it's going to change. Also Obama.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's one of those where you have to like wait and see, and maybe we'll get like a Raw that just blows our fucking minds. But do you really want to sit through like the same matches again? Like Monday, if we get another damn Mizdow, Ryback Harper match, like, what are we gonna do then?
I think their way of writing and doing and like carrying out feuds now, because they're kind of lazy, is just make them fight a bunch of times. I mean, it's shitty writing. Remember, back in the day, they had issues. They had like segments, with the feuds and all this stuff. Now it's just like, oh, they're just having matches that lead up to their match later on down the line.
Yeah.
Also, I think they have entirely too many fucking pay-per-views.
Really? I mean, this isn't the UFC we're talking about.
Well, the UFC is different, of course, because they have, they're actually fighting, so it makes sense for them to have like so many pay-per-views. And they don't have to deal with actual storytelling. It's just like I get paid to fight this guy.
I'll put it to you like this: there is literally a UFC event every Saturday until August.
Wow. All right, I guess they're doing a little. They're kind of like overdoing it a little.
A little.
But but think about WWE having too many pay-per-views. I mean, if you go back to when they didn't have as many, back during the 90s and all.
Yeah.
It gave them time, like maybe like it would be like what, a pay-per-view every 2 months or something.
Yeah, it was when they were still doing like random in your houses and shit.
Yeah, like any house would be fine, but like like the main pay-per-view would be like what, 2 months away or so. So to have like 2 months to build this feud, and 2 months to like actually do stuff to make these people hate each other. They can do a slow build. They can make stuff happen immediately, or it's like they have different ways to manipulate the crowd and play with the feud leading up to the big payoff at the pay-per-view. And I feel like now pay-per-views are just like, all right, we're gonna fight and do bullshit for this month, fight at a pay-per-view, and then like do some more shit, and then it's like I feel like the pay-per-views are just a continuation. It's like a fancier Raw. It's like it feels like it's overdone. Like it's like they need more build-up time. Pay-per-view should be used for build-up.
I don't want to interrupt what we're saying, but just out of curiosity, I Googled how many times has Big Show, and it automatically filled in turned.
Oh my God.
And the first website I went to, I'll go ahead and say it. It's camelclutchblog.com.
Yeah.
And I guess we can all see it. And it says since 1999, Big Show has turned 21 times.
Jesus. So that means
not only.
So you put in extra 1 year, probably.
Yeah. I mean, well, he was also like not working a couple of those years. Remember, he kind of semi-retired for like a year or two.
Yeah.
So, God, I don't know. Also, like to further prove our point, he's been around since 1999.
Oh God.
But yeah, I don't know. It's all a writing thing. I feel like if they did something new with their writing, like they got Jimmy Jacobs in there as a writer now.
Oh man, here's the thing about that. They brought in a wrestler to actually help out these Hollywood writers and stuff, right? To help them out. And he has to go through so much bullshit probably just to get his ideas heard.
Yeah.
I mean, they got like 25 writers. I mean, and everyone wants to. Here's what I think: 25 writers. Everyone wants to get their ideas out, and they have something to say. Not all of it's good, not all of it's bad, but it's going to be a bunch of people getting in each other's way, and then the final product is going to be something to try to please everyone.
And it doesn't help that one man or like 2 or 3 people have final say.
Yeah.
So it's like no matter what you write, you could write like, a 3-month build for like 4 people. And if that guy, whoever it may be, is like, well, no, we want this guy to do this at like Payback, then it's just like, well, fuck y'all your ideas. We're not going to use them. All
right, let me bring up the Katie Vick situation again. I know I brought it up earlier in the show, but I'm going to use this as a positive example. What I read, and I've heard before for some of the people who are involved in writing that storyline, it originally started off with Vince McMahon wanting to give background to Kane and decided to make him a murderer or have a murderer background. Like he probably could have killed someone. And the writers started writing the idea of Katie Vick and all that. And it was supposed to go into like the whole like, did he do it, did he not do it situation. And they wrote out like basically the whole storyline. But it has to go through like Triple H, who had gotten more power at the time. And he was very much responsible for how it played out. So it just shows you, even with 25 writers trying to get their ideas out and clashing with each other, with the one guy that probably actually knows about wrestling there trying to get his ideas out, it can still be manipulated and changed around by like the top guys who's running the company. And
That's,
it's just too much, like too many people in the way of good story, of what could be good storytelling. And it triggers their thoughts across this. Someone could just change the whole thing completely at a whim, like just change the whole thing.
I mean, it's also like I was listening to another podcast, The Comedy Button, and they were talking to a guy there who was friends with a writer for WWE.
Yeah.
And he said that he was going to write something for somebody about like burritos or something. They were trying to bring in like burritos as like a joke.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon was like, nobody knows what that is. Even though Vince McMahon had been eating burritos a lot recently because somebody like brought him his food.
Yeah.
And he only knew burritos as a meat wrap.
Wow.
Like he was telling this story as a reason why McMahon's out of touch. And it's like when you hear shit like that, it's like, God, like no wonder there's no hope for us.
Well, it's not just that. You also got Triple H, who has more power than what he's saying, and trying to lead people to believe, who is making decisions as well, along with someone who's out of touch. So it's like, it's just too many people in the way. Like you want to think like, okay, I don't want to wish death on anyone. I'm not going to say I wish that Vince would never die.
I can't wait to see where this goes.
It's going to clarify, but when that day happens, when Vince McMahon is gone and the company is left to Triple H, I don't think it's going to get I don't think it's going to improve as much as we think.
Or as much as we hope.
As much as we hope, really, because we would just wanted to convert it to like an NXT show, but that's not going to happen. And we're going to still face some of the same problems that we already face. And plus, let's not forget, Stephanie McMahon's involved with it too.
Yeah.
So she has some say-so on what happens and control some of it. So it's just so much happening, like behind the scenes. So many people controlling this product and steering it. It feels like back in the day where it was just Vince McMahon. And he was like, okay, Sean, what do you want to do? All right, Brett, what do you want to do? Or all right, Hunter, what do you want to do with Sean? And then, those ideas, like he'll listen. He's like, what are we doing in Austin? Let's do this then. Like he had ideas, but at the time, he was in a situation which he had to win the Monday Night Wars. And the best way to win the Monday Night Wars is listen to his talent. And that's completely gone. It's just like it's gone.
Or listen to the audience.
Yeah, listen to the audience, listen to the talent.
Because back then, like back then when you had Nitro on, like you can see the ratings when people would switch channels. So it's almost like a way of like reading the audience of being like, well, they didn't watch this, they switched off for this. They switched off for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, it's like when we were in the Attitude Era, we had Shawn Michaels sucking an invisible dick.
Yeah.
Like it got to a point where it's like, well, this has to change.
Yeah.
And slowly it turned into like the ruthless aggression era. You can't see it. I'm doing finger quotes.
Yeah.
When you had Kurt Angle and Jericho and people putting on like legit good matches, Eddie Guerrero. And I guess like I'm like hoping for that kind of change, that kind of slowly gradual change into like a different product. But I don't, with this kind of writing, who knows when the hell that's going to be.
Exactly. All right, so let's wrap up this episode. Raw wasn't as bad as it was last week, but it had a lot of questionable moments in it. It was very much booked horribly.
Yeah. And it's like I've seen people say, go ahead.
I don't know what's worse, a bad show or a horribly booked show. Because they're not the same thing, really look at it. Like a bad show is just awful. A horribly booked show had potential. They just kind of just dropped the ball on it.
It's like Jim Cornette said when he was talking about, I think he was talking about Roman Reigns, where he was saying that like if everybody loves the guy, then that's good and it makes you money. if everybody hates the guy, that could still be good and make you money. But when everybody's just in the middle or they don't care, you can do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And it's like when Raw's good, you know, everybody's on top of the world and they want to talk about it. When Raw's bad, everybody wants to laugh and talk about it. But when Raw's mediocre, it's like, well, what the hell do we do now?
That's how I feel. And I remember, you know, back in the day, you could go anywhere and just say, "Oh man, did you see Raw?" And someone's like, "Yeah, I watched Raw and this happened. That's badass." You know, you just discussed it. And now it's like, "Oh man, did you watch Raw last night?" They're like, "What's that?" You know, Raw. You still watching that?
I don't know. I feel like wrestling has got a resurgence, like in the last couple of years.
It has. And I think the WWE Network actually played a big part into it. But I feel like, you know, still, it's like there are a lot of people who don't watch it, or they kind of sort of watch it and they didn't know about it, but they don't really follow it. And as a diehard wrestling fan who want other people to watch what I love and enjoy with other people, this is what they're being treated to when they tune in. And I find it very hard to explain this shit.
Yeah, it's like when you try to get someone to watch a TV show and it's just like a bad episode and you have to say, it's not always like this, I swear.
Yeah, basically.
And like there's only so many times you can say that about Raw because it's like 3 hours. It's a big, you know, you have to dedicate some time to it.
Yeah.
That you can, you know, try to rely on. No, it's good, I promise.
Yeah, I swear to you, man. It gets better. It picks up.
Yeah.
All right, so we rate this Raw basically just not interesting. It's not bad. It's just not interesting.
Yeah, it's got maybe, I would say, one match to actually go on YouTube and look forward to Ziggler Neville.
Yeah, they have two good matches. One match that's actually worthy every time.
And then everything else is just sort of there. Like
yeah.
The Orton thing, the Rollins-Orton promo, like gave you an idea of what's going to happen. The Cena-Rusev thing gave you an idea of what's going to happen. So did the Divas Battle Royal, I guess. But if you just tuned in next week, I mean, you're not going to miss anything. They're going to recap it all anyways.
Yeah, and they're going to show you a bunch of clips of like Michael Cole getting F5'd.
Yeah.
They didn't do it this episode. I'm over exaggerating, but still. That's what last episode was. It was like basically one big recap.
I saw people online saying that Michael Cole took that F5 like the best F5 ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know about that. I still feel like, who is it, Noble? Or I think it's Mercury takes the best F5. Because Michael Cole like took it on his knee. If you watch, he puts his knee or foot down.
Yeah.
And Jamie Noble just flat on his face.
I mean, it was cool to see him like, you know, F5 out of his shoe. But yeah. I think I don't know, he's not really a wrestler, so who knows?
Yeah, and it's just cool to see Michael Cole get beat up.
Yeah, like it would have did to Booker T or would have did to like JBL, it would have been as interesting as doing it to Michael Cole, who's like just a regular guy. Him as some regular cameraman who's probably like an indie wrestler.
He was.
I figured.
But yeah, Raw, I don't know. Yeah. Like I've seen people on YouTube say it was the worst, but I guess you'll get that with every show.
I'll never say it's the worst episode because I realize the WWE always surprises me.
Yeah, and it's also one of those like when we used to like talk about movies that I don't want to say something's the best and something's the worst because you know something's going to come along to prove that wrong.
Yeah,
it's like if I think Avatar is the worst movie ever, then what does that make? You know, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I don't hate Avatar. I just don't want to sit through it.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's a different level of hate compared to like Crystal Skull. So yeah, I feel like maybe we shouldn't be so hyperbolic about everything.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. Please subscribe to us. Check out our show. We're going to do this every week. I'm Notorious JM, and this is my mystery guest. I'm trying to fucking try to get you to say your name. This is Random Avatar, signing off.